Listen, I think the Browns are going to take the division this year.
Do you?
Hot take. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. All right. To be honest,
tell anybody I said that.
We'll edit it out. Actually, that's gonna be the title.
Yeah. Preview of this video.
Bacon is my podcast. Bacon is my Bacon is my podcast. Bacon is my
What's up?
I actually do see those.
Do you?
By the way, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,
Hi.
welcome to
Another episode.
of
Bacon is my podcast.
what?
Bacon is my podcast?
Never heard of it.
Me either. But if I had heard of it, I would make sure that they thanked a number of sponsors.
A number of sponsors. One of them being drinkwildbills.com.
Yeah. Delicious.
Because they have delicious sodas, delicious snacks. They've got some like barbecue sauces up there too.
Yeah.
And some sweet swag, copper cups, you name it. And if you use the promo code BACON, you get 10% off.
Yeah. What else you got?
Well, there's grillyourassoff.com.
Grillyourassoff.com. Definitely where they have rubs. They have spices. They have recipe books on there. It is put together by veterans.
Sauces.
It is a company put together by veterans and
in Texas.
You should definitely support it. And if you do support it and support them, you can also use the code
BACON
and get 10% off your order.
You know where else has the promo code BACON?
What does?
Poddex.com.
Yeah, poddex.com.
And them as well. You go to poddex.com, use promo code BACON, 10% off.
Yeah.
Just like that. There's one different one, though.
What's that?
sportslegacysups.com.
Oh, yeah, that's Bacon Pod.
It's Bacon Pod, and you get 10% off there as well.
Absolutely.
And if you use any of those things, something that we never really say, but like it truly does help the podcast.
Yeah, it really does. It helps us keep it free. It helps us keep the podcast going. And the cool thing is it's all like good stuff, you know,
good people, good stuff.
Yeah.
We have just direct relationships with the people that have, you know, this isn't like the older ones that we had, the other sponsors that we had, where it was just very much like, cool, here's a link. We've had dialogue with these people. They're good people. We like supporting small people business, that are great.
They're small business and
they're small business. And yeah, I would definitely expect to have some of these people on our show.
We'll definitely have them on the show, and we'll definitely be doing shows based on stuff for our patrons who we would also like to thank, because we ourselves are a small business.
Yeah.
So patreon.com/bacon is my podcast. If you ever decided that you wanted to support the show directly, all of our patrons on there at different levels get extra shows. They get ad-free shows. We do additional
extended
content.
shows.
We do live streams. We're going to be doing live events, all kinds of cool stuff like that.
Yep.
So just if you feel like it, check it out. See if it's something you want to be a part of. For all of you that are members of the BIMP squad, thank you so much. You guys make this thing happen. We love you so much. How's your week been?
You know, I got to tell you, this week was just as weeky as the last week.
Yeah. My weeks are spelled WEAK lately.
Oh,
because that's how I feel.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about them. But I will say that this week has a little bit more, I guess, anticipation on it, because I have my first show in 2 years tomorrow. Tomorrow, actually, as we are.
I will be there.
As we are recording this
to see how it goes.
I appreciate that.
I mean, I guess support it too, but
well,
more to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to play shows anymore.
See how it goes.
I don't want to play shows anymore.
I'm not nervous, but I'm anxious. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm more like I just don't know. I just don't know what to expect. I don't know how to feel about it. It's a little weird. I feel a little better about it now, to be honest, because we just did a really cool interview with Leauxx,
Yeah.
and we talked about it a little bit, and that actually helped a little bit.
Yeah. She is great. She's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Super cool to hang out with.
Yeah,
And
super awesome, super talented.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you're here, hopefully you already checked out her 7 questions. What's your bacon in 7 questions, which was on Strangerhood TV, which is where you can find the video version of this show.
yes.
So if you haven't checked that out, jump over there. We do an extra show every week before our episode. We do a 7 questions with the guest and lets you get to know a little bit more about them right away. So if you saw that, you know that she's super fun, and that you could tell that this was going to be a fun interview. Literally, the minute we got on with her, usually we give people the rundown and we're like, hey, we're going to have a couple drinks. If you drink, you're welcome to as well. Here's kind of how the show runs. We sat down with her and she started drinking wine, and I was like, oh, she's all right.
She gets this.
She's already in.
She's got it.
already in.
She's got it. She's got it. So
She was super fun.
yeah.
Very cool, very personable, and just awesome to talk to.
Yeah. So definitely, we're gonna start that episode, that interview
Yeah, we should
Right.
just get right into it.
now.
Now.
No, I said now.
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 Now. It's
No.
my turn.
No, it's not your turn.
It's my turn.
No.
All right, how about now?
All right, Jimsy. You think grilling season is over?
Almost, right? Or-
No.
No.
Grilling season is never over because of
Okay.
a new sponsor of ours,
Ooh, what is it?
GrillYourAssOff.com.
I love the name already.
Yeah. It's a veteran-owned company that sells spices, barbecue sauces, cool swag, even cookbooks.
Oh, you know what? You sent me a link to that. I checked it out. That was awesome. They had some cool recipes right on their site. That was pretty awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's for free. But now that they're a sponsor, they've decided that if you use the promo code BACON, you get 10% off your order.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm definitely ordering some spices. They had a couple that looked really killer.
Yeah, and it's really, there's so many different selections that there's really a spice for everybody. The guys that are like heat heads, and even the people that just want something subtle, delicious, sweet, whatever it is, they've got something for everybody.
Awesome. Did we order any? Did we have any coming?
We've got some coming,
Nice.
and we're going to do some tasting episodes over on the Patreon
awesome. So
with
stick
a little bit
around.
of grill your ass off stuff.
Stick around, everyone, because once we get those in, we're going to taste them, we're going to go through them, and then we're going to let you know what we think, and maybe give you some choices that we would kind of go for.
So once again, head over to grillyourassoff.com, use that promo code BACON, and get 10% off.
Sweet.
Hey, what's up, everybody? WWE Hall of Famer, the Godfather here, and you've been consuming Bacon is My Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Awful person Jim here. With
I told that story off air.
yeah, I know.
We're not even
Now
gonna
they'll
tell
have
it.
to. Now they'll have to guess
I'm
why.
just an awful person.
Today we are here with what I like to call dark pop.
Mhm.
A little bit of rock, a little bit of pop, a lot of cool stuff going on. Ladies and gentlemen, Leauxx is on the show today. What's going on?
Not much, just drinking wine and hanging out.
Love it.
I'm
Love it.
glad you've gone for the wine because we tend to drink a little bit here
We've
too.
gone for the whiskey.
We've gone for the whiskey, and it helps ease the blow of this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed something,
Yeah.
to prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After those
absolutely.
7 questions, she was like, all right,
This,
what am I in for?
Need a real refill.
Bruise on me.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, it lets everybody know. Everybody knows what they're in for once we do that. And then they can decide. They can decide, like, I'm going to have fun with this show, or I suck as a guest and I'm not going to be fun. Right?
Or-
they get to decide at that point.
Right. Or what am I doing here?
Right. Yeah. Which I think that's the same as being like, I'm not a good guest.
Yeah.
Like if you leave after that, you kind of suck. So
Sure.
yeah. So any of you that left.
See you guys later.
Peace. I'm out.
So
Bye.
the way that I actually discovered you was from your last band, Letters from the Fire. I saw you live, and my wife and I, we were like, holy shit, she's got some fucking pipes on her. And then you left the band, and now you're doing your solo thing, and you got your new single out, Short of You. That's out now. So how are you approaching music now? Because I feel like you were very much into a, like the rock thing, and get into a room with some guys or get some instrumentals and stuff like that. And now you're kind of more in that experimental phase where you still have a lot of that rock element, but you're also exploring different sounds. And I find it to be really cool.
Makes me happy to hear, because I think one of the things that was scary about kind of going down a new road was, oh my gosh, like my existing fan base, like are they going to hate what I'm doing now? But like you said, one of the things that I always want to incorporate is that like rock edge to what I'm doing, because it's very much like still a part of me and like what I want to do and who I am. It's just the active rock, hard rock scene with like, the traditional band thing. I just felt like, I don't know, it just didn't feel right for me anymore. And like I miss it and I enjoyed it. But I had, after the experience that I had in my last band, I was like, I need to have like control over what I'm doing, and like I need to do something that I'm chasing what excites me, and I want to do, what I want to do, and I want to have control over it, and I want to explore like new sounds, and like you said, experiment with new things. So the writing process is very different. It's way more difficult because, I'm basically starting with nothing. And I'm not great at pulling things out of thin air. I work a lot better when I have something to like work off of. So it's been difficult, but I have found a really great producer who's also a good friend of mine, Sean Zuzek, and he has been so amazing at kind of just being a great, like a collaborative partner with me. Like I explain things to him. I'm like, yeah, okay, here's this shitty demo that I like made on GarageBand. Can you make it sound cool? And I'm like, I hear this and this, and none of it makes sense. And somehow out of all of that, he kind of, he figures out what I mean, and he makes it sound great. So that has been a huge part of what I'm doing now, is having him.
That's awesome. We've talked to other people also about like how important that is to have a producer that feels like a band member, writing partner, somebody that like gets you and gets where you're coming from.
We had one in here.
And yeah, and we had our buddy Dave Caggiano that's been working with my band and that's worked with yours, and it's just so good to have that person that kind of like knows you and gets you and is like, okay, this is you, and let me work with you the way that I know, because I know what's going to get the most out of you.
Get the job done.
And it takes a lot of trust, and it's very like intimate in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
Because, I'm sure you guys know when you're writing, it's always very personal. And so, yeah, there's like definitely a lot of trust that needs to be there, and a lot of like understanding. And if the vibe is not right or the energy is not right, like it throws the whole thing off. It doesn't matter how good the two parts are if you're not meshing together,
Absolutely.
Yep.
And you're right. It can be, both parts can be super talented and super good at what they do and amazing. But if that connection is not there, if that little thing isn't there,
It's complete disconnect.
it completely throws the project off. One of the things that I really like, and again, it's stuff we've talked about before. Like this show is really about getting people on that are super passionate about the things that they're doing, because we've always found it super inspiring and awesome to talk to people that are passionate and dialed into who they are and what they're doing, no matter what that is, and going for it. And so it's really cool to kind of like talk to anybody that's like that. And we've talked to other artists, and I love how, you said like keeping rock is part of what you do because it's always what you do. I love that currently rock seems to be a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We've said before, people say like, oh, rock's dead. And it's like, no, rock's not dead. Rock and roll has always been the idea of whatever the fuck I want to do, I'm going to do. And so that means, sure, back in the day it meant something, and in punk it meant something, and in metal it meant something, and in this and that and whatever. And right now it seems to mean I'm going to allow all my influences to come out. I'm not going to be stuck in a box. I'm not just rock. Maybe I'm a pop artist that decides I want to have metal guitars in one of my songs. Right. Maybe I'm a hip hop artist that decides I want to take like a drum beat from a classic rock song. Maybe I'm a rock artist that wants to add pop, that wants to add synth, that wants to add elements of another style. That's what rock and roll is, because rock and roll is the attitude. Rock and roll is the fuck you, I'm doing it. And that is something that I like about what you're doing. And it's rock and roll because it keeps that attitude. It doesn't really matter otherwise, At least that's what I think. I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're hitting the nail right on the head. Like, I could not agree more. I think the thing that kind of scared me is that some rock fans are very much like narrow-minded in what they'll accept as rock music.
Right.
And there's so much to draw from. And I think people will say rock is dead, but that's because you're thinking of like an old definition of rock, or an older definition. I think the spirit, like you said, the spirit of rock is kind of like all over the place. And it is 100% like still a huge part of what I'm doing. I'm never going to be like a bubblegum pop artist.
I want to be a gubblebum pop artist.
Who doesn't, honestly? But yeah, like it's always going to be like, that's a huge part of me. I was feeling very limited by the like traditional band structure and expectation of like, we're going to write a song and it's going to be a riff, and then you're going to sing, and then it's going to be the riff, and it's the same thing, because everybody's got ego and everybody wants to have their time in the spotlight, which is fine.
Get their shit in. Yeah. Gotta get their shit in.
Getting your shit in is the worst.
Yeah. So I wanted to do something kind of outside of that, and this song that I just put out, Short of You, is definitely very pop. The most pop thing that I've put out. I haven't put out that much as a solo artist, but it's definitely the most pop. But even so, like in the chorus and stuff, like there's those distorted guitars, like there's still elements of that in there. And that's always very important to me, because that's who I am. I'm not like, I pretty much 99% of the time wear black, and I know I'm wearing a white t-shirt now, but I'm just hanging out at home. So,
right.
But my closet is like mostly black, and I like leather and studs and chains and all of this stuff. So like that part of me is never going away, even if the sound or the appearance of it takes on a different form sometimes.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like if you're the type of person that when you were growing up, going to a concert and hearing that first like guitar chord over a big system just turned you on for whatever reason, you were just like, oh, this is the best. right? And that hit you in the gut, and it made you like shoulders go up a little bit and all that kind of stuff. That never leaves you, no matter what you're writing, you know? And so it's always in the back of your head is like, all right, cool. Now, how can I make this meaner? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
And that's never going to leave you. And even if you change styles or you change, man, one of the best rock and roll singers, in my opinion, was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Because his grit and his aggression when he wanted it was absolutely outstanding. Fucking phenomenal. He did rock better than a lot of people that were doing rock, you know? You get that out of artists that are pop, that are whatever. And it's again, it's all about the attitude. It's all about like, if you got it, you got it, you know, like if you have that, you have it. And if you have it, you're certainly not going to shy away from doing something different, because that would be the most un-rock and roll thing you could do.
Yeah.
is
Exactly. You guys get it 100%.
Yeah.
So absolutely. So we've had quite the couple of years. So for artists, it has made us all kind of like reevaluate how we do a lot of things. And one of those things has been like the traditional album cycle, which was kind of dying before.
Just before.
Anyways,
Mhm.
you know.
Anyway.
And so we're in a very much like an era of singles and stuff. How have you, like, you're embracing that definitely, obviously, but is that something you were going into already, or is that something that kind of like, how has it changed you, like your mindset of how to release things over the past couple of years?
I think even just like a year ago, I was, or maybe a little over a year ago, I was still kind of like, my plan was to like record an EP, like 5 songs,
right,
and put that all out together. But honestly, there were a bunch of factors that factored into it that I kind of just realized, like, oh, I don't need to do that. Like, I could just put out a song and just, it can stand on its own. So that's kind of like, that's my approach now. Things have been, for a number of reasons, moving very slow for me. But I've got stuff ready to go. I've got a game plan. Like, I'm going to start putting out stuff like consistently. And, you know, as far as I can tell right now, I think I'm going to stick to the like single. I think, like, you know, the pandemic did a lot of things, but I think it was just generally the trends. Our attention spans are getting very short, and, you know, social media is kind of like the big thing. And so why would I put out a body of work that is, you know, that might get over, like, some things on it might get overlooked or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
When I could just put out one at a time, you know, every couple of months, every month or whatever, I could put out a new song.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right. So, you know, we just played the fair, right? I saw our new sponsor next to us at the fair.
Right.
Any of you that have ever been to festivals, you know one of the coolest spots to go to is that spot that's selling you sodas where the copper mugs.
Oh, they're the best.
Wild Bill's, dude.
Yes. And you don't just have to go to a fair to get their stuff anymore. You can go to drinkwildbills.com and they'll send it right to your house.
They sent that ginormous box to us.
Huge box of stuff, and it made me realize that Wild Bill's isn't just soda.
Yeah, I thought it was at first, but man, the like jerky and
nuts and coffee.
Oh man, snack foods, coffee, everything.
And if you go there now, drinkwildbills.com, use the promo code BACON, of course, and you get 10% off.
Oh, dude, check it out. Stick with us because we're going to be letting you know how that coffee tastes. We're going to be doing some tasting episodes on literally everything in the box.
Yes.
So stick with us. But, dude, you've had it. You've been at fairs. I've bought it. I bought that mug. It's awesome. I love it.
And now, again, We're heading into the winter months. It's going to get a little colder. No more fairs. Just have it delivered right to your door.
Drinkwildbills.com.
Yeah.
Easy for me to say.
Blah, blah, blah.
Once. Check it out. Promo code BACON.
Hey guys, this is Tiade from The World Over Official on Instagram and Spotify, all that good stuff. And Bacon is my podcast. I don't know much you guys, but Bacon's my passion.
Right.
Yeah.
You put 5 songs out today. In 2 months, all 5 of those songs are old, whether they've been listened to or not.
And like
Yeah.
I'm on this like journey of like exploring all of these sounds and all of these influences that I have, because I draw from like a very weird and diverse group of like artists and stuff, like when I'm writing.
Like what? Give us what's some examples?
I lately have been on a very, very large 9 Inch Nails kick. Actually my next song, sneak peek, my next song after Short of You that I will be putting out is very like 9 Inch Nails, and I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It's so cool. I can't wait for everyone to hear it.
I can't wait to hear
awesome.
that. I can't wait to hear that. Have you checked out the new Halsey?
And that's exactly when you were going on your when you were talking about rock. Like
Right.
that's exactly what I was thinking, because I'm like, here's this pop artist, and Trent did her record, and
Just
it's sick.
outstanding. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like so good. It's such a good record.
It's sonically so cool, and I was so stoked from the moment that I saw, because I already liked Halsey. She's already badass.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
How can you not?
Right. Absolutely. Like
Yeah. She's totally badass. And then when I saw that Trent was doing the album, I was like,
Yeah.
because I've been on a huge, just the biggest like 9 Inch. I listen to 9 Inch Nails all the time. It's very much, I go in like waves, but that's very much been, it's been very like inspirational for me lately.
Nice.
But then,
what's your 9 Inch Nails era that you keep going back to? Because for example, I listen to I love 9 Inch Nails. I listen to everything, but for some reason, I always go back to Pretty Hate Machine, because for some reason I love that entire record, and I there's stuff I like on later records that I like better, but that record keeps me coming back. So that's my 9 Inch Nails era that I just keep being drawn to. Like, do you have one?
Yeah, I would say With Teeth is like what I kind of like reach for in terms of if I'm going to listen to like one like album.
Nice.
I listen to that a lot. The Pretty Hate Machine, I mean, there's a reason why you like it, it's
Right.
just got that like thing to it. But yeah, 9 Inch Nails, that's a big one. But then at the same time, I'm like listening to like Black Bear and referencing Black Bear. I don't know if you guys listen to him. Very pop. Billie Eilish, but who isn't inspired by her, right? Banks is a really, really big one. I have been listening to a lot of Banks, especially her most recent album, but she started to put out new songs. I'm very excited about what she's doing now.
Nice.
I'm trying to think what else. Muse.
Yeah.
Like
Love
it's
Muse.
kind of all over the place.
They're another band where it's like, which era? Because that's they hit me the kind of same way that 9 Inch Nails does, in that way where it's like, am I Origin of Symmetry Muse? Am I Absolution? Am I where am I? Where am I today? But yeah, they're another one that's like that for me. Do you have like what was it when you were growing up? Like do you have like, were your parents big music people? Did you have something that was constantly on at the house that kind of shaped anything for you? Can you do you remember any of that?
When I was a kid, I honestly listened to pop, and like my first concert ever was Britney Spears. I think it was either NSYNC or Britney Spears. Those were like back to back when I was like
solid
a small
choices.
child. Yeah. And then like the first artist that I kind of like glommed onto and just was obsessed with was Christina Aguilera. I was I am still obsessed with her. She's still incredible. But I was always very much into like pop, and then it wasn't until I was a little bit older. Or I guess I should also say my parents listened to a lot of like classic rock, so I always listened to that too, and I enjoyed that. Adam Lambert on American Idol was very transformative for me, which is kind of hysterical.
That's
because
awesome.
I was like, this pop program, right? There's this guy with black hair and black fingernails,
right,
singing Led Zeppelin, and just like his voice is amazing.
Absolutely.
So that was a big one for me.
So real quick about it, Adam Lambert. So he was talking about covering Queen.
Yes.
That dude Queen was like, hey, you're pretty good.
Yeah, you want to come sing for
Just
Queen?
Come sing with us.
And he had the balls to go, yes.
Yeah.
I will come sing for Queen.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, how can you
good
even?
For you, dude. Wow.
Yeah. And I think it's an amazing pairing or an amazing relationship. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I love that
I love him.
He doesn't like he doesn't pretend that he's Freddie Mercury.
Well, he's smart.
He goes, no, I got a cool opportunity here.
Right. He's like, I'm gonna sing it like I'm gonna sing
Queen. This is Queen.
Right.
I am here singing that song because
and there's obviously like similarities between them as artists.
Yeah.
But exactly like you said, he's not trying to just do like Queen karaoke, Freddie Mercury karaoke.
Yeah.
He very much like brings.
That's why it works.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's an amazing pairing. Like Adam Lambert singing Led Zeppelin on American Idol was like incredible.
Yeah.
So that was like, I remember that being like kind of the first time where I was like, oh, I don't need to be like a pop star who like dances on stage. Like, you know, I can like be a rock star, right? And then the thing that kind of like inspired me, or I guess really pushed me into like wanting to be in a band, was I saw Hailstorm live. And I had like kind of heard of them, and I had never like seen them or anything. And the first time that I saw them, like Lizzie blew my head off. Yeah. And I was like, I want to do that, you know?
She is a powerful performer. I saw her at NAMM 2 years ago. And I went to like, I was in the Gibson area, and she was doing the NAMM thing. And it was her and her guitar player, no band. And they literally did a full set of Hailstorm songs, just two of them, not acoustic, electric guitars, no band, just the two of them. And she was just full out.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely insane.
I am lucky enough to be friends with that group now, which if you told me back in the day, I would have been like, no way, right?
Right.
She, as a human, as an artist, like she is something special.
Yeah.
Like they are all four of them are some of the nicest, truly kindest people in the business. Very down to earth. So cool. And she is so fucking talented that it blows my mind. And then the fact that she's so like chill and down to earth.
Yeah.
While
it makes
having
a big
that
difference.
voice is insane. Yeah.
I was fortunate to meet her there and talk to her for a little bit. And then my girlfriend's met her a number of times because my girlfriend works with Joan Jett. And so she's been able to like on tours and stuff, meet and hang out with Lizzie Hale and stuff. And she's talked about like just how cool she is. And that makes you like, if you already like an artist and then they're cool, you're like, well, I love you now. Now you're my favorite person on earth.
Yeah, and they always say like, don't meet your heroes, right? But
right, it's like, meet some of them because
I think she's like one of the exceptions for sure. Like I am, like I really appreciate and treasure that friendship. And it's amazing and it's inspiring, and I just like can't say enough good things about them. They're awesome.
Yeah, she's super cool. Speaking of great pairings, though, I found this when researching you, and I just had to question you about it. I don't know if you even know it exists.
It's really weird.
But there is a Facebook page dedicated to you for In Excess.
I did not know that.
Did you know this exists?
Yeah.
Oh, was this like a Letters from the Fire era?
Yes.
Facebook page? Okay.
Yes. And I saw it and I was like, huh? And I think there were a couple of videos of you doing In Excess. So I didn't.
No, they weren't. No, they were just like general.
There are pictures of
videos.
you, performance videos. How did this become a thing? Do you know that this is a thing?
I didn't know that, and I love that. Like, thank you.
I didn't realize you were such a big In Excess fan.
I didn't know you were going for the job, but like, absolutely, let's do it.
Say that I am a huge In Excess fan. No offense. If you want to hire me, I'll do the job happily, excitedly.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I remember, like, I don't know, it was a long time ago, but NXS was doing like a reality show to find a singer.
They did very much like the Rock American Idol type thing.
Yes, I remember watching that with my dad, and we had it like TiVoed. There was one episode where some girl sang Bohemian Rhapsody, and she completely like slayed, like she killed it. Nice. And my dad and I would go back and watch it, just that performance of her singing that song, because we loved it so much.
That's not an easy song.
Exactly. And she killed it. It was amazing. That's the only thing, like, when I hear NXS, honestly, that's the first thing that I think of.
You think of
that's what I thought of too.
A Queen song by
Yeah.
They
on
actually
their
had
reality show. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
They actually had a second season of that where Jason Newsted, Gilby Clark, and a bunch of other people joined this super group that was called Supernova. And
this rings very distant bells.
Yeah, it was the second season. It didn't do as well, but that's where I
would have the dude
Marty Casey.
He's in Stone Temple Pilots.
I don't know.
The new singer of Stone Temple Pilots was from that show.
Oh, okay. Then I probably saw him. But if you ever get a chance, Marty Casey is one of the contestants from that show, and the last, I guess the finale, they got to do an original song, and he was the runner-up. He didn't win, and he went on to make this record, and this song called Trees was fucking awesome.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
sounds cool.
Well, all right,
a little bit of everything.
See, reality shows can produce good things.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't sure if you knew that there was a petition going.
That's actually hilarious. I love that. How can we get it going with more steam?
Let's get that back up. Let's get that running again.
I'll go back to a band for that, you know?
I'll send you the link. We'll send you the link.
Yeah.
You get on board.
I think the last post on it was someone saying, I hope she knows this exists. So I was doing my part.
Now I do. You're doing the Lord's work.
I was like, you know what? I can make that happen.
When I saw it, I was kind of like, really? Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not?
You know what? In Excess had some cool songs.
Oh, yeah. I don't disagree.
They were different.
Yeah.
They were a different band.
Yeah.
I'll hear something like the bar I work at is very classic rock oriented, and
In Excess is very
every
very
now and
new
then
for that bar.
Yeah, they might as well be Linkin Park.
Right.
But
that's classic rock in some circles now.
Linkin Park is classic rock in circles now. Yeah. Well, if you live in New York, Linkin Park is new rock on the radio stations here.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, welcome to rock
and like
as a whole. It's all
Hybrid
that.
Theory. Linkin Park is new rock too.
Yep. Very much that. Not
new rock coming up next. Everything you say to me. It's like
Another new rock band here in New York is this little band called Seether.
Mm.
And
Yes.
yes. So many years ago, I actually got to see them in like this really small dinky bar with Joey DeMacco.
Okay. Yep.
He won tickets, and there was like 4 people and Seether, and it was like, wow, this is cool as shit. But you, in a past life, got to actually sing with them, Broken, like all over the country. That's super freaking cool.
How was that?
How was
That'd be
that?
fun.
Like the crowds that you were in front of, like.
Yeah, you know what? I'm convinced that whole tour, we did like 3 months of them, which was crazy. Like they had us on for 2 legs of a tour. So like the opening band was different, but we were direct support for like 3 months, which is,
that's great.
as you guys understand, it's huge.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like 4 or 5 weeks. Like it was a long ass fucking time.
3 months is
So it was already huge. And then I got to do that, and the first time that we did it on stage was at my hometown show in Pittsburgh, and it was the best because when I was a teenager, I sang that song with a boyfriend of mine who ended up dumping me, and we sang that song together at like a bar.
And then you were like, you know who I sang it with now?
Yeah.
I will admit that I actually covered that song, and we had an ex-girlfriend of mine singing on stage as well.
Look at that.
And she's an awful person.
I've sang it at karaoke with someone I didn't know because I was bartending, and they were like, will you sing with me? And I said, sure.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Which was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, singing that song at a club in Pittsburgh. This club was built like while I was not a kid, like an early, like preteen or teenager. They built CJE. And I remember being like, I'm going to play there someday. You know, I'm going to do it. And I fucking did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Manifest.
That's awesome.
Truly. But
so cool.
that tour was amazing. I think that's like when that whole tour is like when I peaked as a human. Was, you know, I miss touring so much. I can't wait to get back to it. But that was amazing.
How do you like? All right, so this might be a weird question, but it's only because I have my very first show coming up in 2 years, right? And this is the longest I've ever gone without playing. Like I've been gigging since I was in high school, and I've been gigging, touring, or something. I never not had shows, and so it's like been 2 years. So how do you have any kind of like nerves or anything weird about like doing a show coming up? Do you feel like, are you like, I can't wait to do it, and there's like no trepidation, or are you just do you have any kind of weirdness going on? Like, is that a weird question? Like, I have weirdness going on. I have this weirdness going on.
Absolutely.
Because I'm never playing a show again.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to a lot of friends who are like now back at it after having been off for a long time, and even the pros who have been doing this for forever were like, I'm gonna wear sunglasses because I might cry. Like, because I'm going to be so overwhelmed with like what's going on, you know? I don't think it's a weird question at all. I always have nerves. And when I was touring, like, the more prepared that I feel, the less nervous that I am, which I guess makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But I get like terrible stage fright. Even when I feel prepared, if it's like the first many times doing something, like I still get nervous. And even when I was touring all the time, like I would still get nervous. But I think that's something that kind of like helps me. Like I kind of like thrive off of that feeling, because once you conquer that, it's very much an adrenaline rush, and it's like doing drugs, man.
It's the overcoming energy, you know, like
that's the thing about touring is like, you know, it's literally like doing drugs. Like you get on stage and you're on stage for however long, and that's
100%.
the high, and you come off and everyone wants to say hi and hang out with you and talk to you, and you're the coolest person in the room for an hour,
Right.
and then you go back to being like,
And then
nobody.
you're slapped with reality while you're in a van driving 6 hours.
Eating a peanut butter and jelly
Eating a
for the
PB&J,
27th day in a row.
Right.
I used to make ramen. Like, we had so many tour hacks. We were staying in hotels, which is like luxury life, right?
That's
we would
awesome.
stay,
Wow.
yeah, we would stay
We
in
were
like the
every
Motel
third day.
6.
Hotel
Yeah,
was every
we would
third
stay
day.
in the Motel 6.
Nice.
But like coffee pot ramen
Oh,
and
yeah.
like grilled cheese on the iron, like all sorts of things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gourmet.
Yeah, straight up. So, touring, a lot of people think, they're like, oh, touring looks so cool. Like, I would love to do that. You're so lucky. And I'm like, you don't even know. Like,
Right.
a lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of people would not be able to live like this because it's crazy. It's stressful. It sucks. And, you know, I missed so many like family things in that time when I was touring all the time. Like, I missed birthdays, I missed weddings, I missed baptisms, I missed all sorts of things. And there's just nothing you can do about it. You just have to suck it up, and that's what it is. So
It's the
I think
grind.
people, the like normal people who don't really realize what goes into it, they think it's like just some fun, chill, cool, slack off life, and it's totally not. Like, it has its sacrifices for sure.
We've mentioned this to other people too. It's like, if you do this for any long period of time, if you don't like just do this to try it and then you go work at a bank or you figure out your life, it's like if you do this and you stick with this, you're not doing this like you love doing this, but you don't do this because you love doing this. You do this because you have to do this. Like, there's just no other option. You wouldn't be a whole human if you didn't do this. It's like the thing that keeps you sane and keeps you going and keeps you, like all the hardship and all the hustle and all that stuff is like, yeah, you deal with it because like you have to do this.
Yeah.
If we could pick, we wouldn't pick this. We'd pick something.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the thing is like I think about that sometimes, and I'm like, I need to start thinking about my life, And I'm like, what is my life though without this?
Yeah,
it sucks. I don't want to live that life.
Yeah, and it's crazy, and people don't understand that.
They don't get it.
They don't get it that it's that.
You're like describing, we're talking about this like shitty, horrible circumstance that we like put ourselves through, and I'm like aching for it. Like,
me too. Yeah,
hungering for it.
It's so funny.
I miss it with every fiber of my being.
Yeah, everything.
I miss playing
you were
in
saying,
shitty bars with two people. I miss it.
You were saying, like grilled cheese on the iron and all that kind of stuff and everything that you're saying to somebody else might be like, oh my God, right? But I'm hearing you and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. I need that so much in my life. Right. And it's exactly that. Like it's the thing that fills you.
I'm sort of on the other side of the spectrum when it comes to like the live show aspect of it, because I have tickets to shows and I'm terrified. I'm terrified of what what it has to bring. And like, I don't know, man. I hate having venue owners go, well, you owe me because I'm letting you play here.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm bringing customers
right
to your establishment. So
yeah,
there's some value to that.
The world's so wacky and weird right now.
And
that it's
like especially in our area where we are now, like if I was playing more to like just a different crowd, like you go to the Midwest or the Southeast or whatever, things are probably a lot different. But
definitely
here we are, New York.
Yeah, definitely different wherever
It's the same.
It's
honestly,
I find
the same but
major
different.
cities though.
I find that like wherever you're from is never as positive as a feeling as when you go somewhere else. And I think
Yeah,
part
that's
of it
very
is,
true.
you're never a hit in your backyard. It's like one of those things until you're a huge hit, and then everybody just wants to be like, yeah, I always supported you. And you're like, no, you didn't. You
Yeah,
absolutely didn't.
exactly.
You made fun of me like every day. Like you made life horrible. But so I think there's always some of that. But I think for me, like the nerves thing is there's all this uncertainty around everything, and like I don't want to get into like the the crazy aspects of it because that doesn't make for a fun podcast.
Right.
But but there's definitely these elements of like, there's okay, I have a band. We got a show to like I'm totally on this right now because I have a show tomorrow and it's my first show in 2 years. So I'm super like aware of it right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, are we going to be so excited that we play everything at 1,000 miles an hour? and we're going to be terrible. Like, and then it's also like, is anyone going to care? And then it's also like, how do I handle merch? Can I talk to people? I can't show people things. I can't, nobody can touch anything. How do I do this? I haven't been on stage. Like after shows, I was always like, I'm going to come out and wrap my arms around everyone that's here to see me.
Yes.
I can't.
Pictures and talking.
Yeah. And I'm like, I can't
people
do
screaming
that.
in your face.
Right. And I'm like, I can't do that. How do I do that? What am I doing? Am I doing this too soon? Am I making a bad decision? Was it a bad idea to get this show? I feel so excited for the show, but was it a bad move? There's all these things playing around in my head. I'm like, fuck, I just want to go play a show. But then I'm also like in the back of my mind, so worried about all these other things because, I'm worried about the people that come to see it. I'm worried about, like all these other things that have nothing to do with getting on stage and doing what I love to do.
I will say this, at least it's outdoors.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. So I mean, like, are you experiencing any of that at all? Or did I just totally fill your head with shit that it didn't need to happen and I'm sorry?
No, I think it's fair. I mean, I have plenty of friends that are going through all of that right now. Like, people are on tour right now and they're crossing their fucking fingers and toes and everything that nobody tests positive. Because as soon as somebody tests positive, everyone's going home. And then, if you're a little band, the band's affected and maybe like one or two people. If you're a big band, like everybody's losing their fucking job again.
Right.
And it's terrifying and it sucks. I did like an online show.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that I've done.
Yeah, we did a couple of those.
Yeah. And that was fine. You're not interacting with people directly, which is actually super weird. It was very weird.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Even if it's like one person, even if it's just the bartender at the bar, like, if I can sing to somebody, it makes it so much easier, right?
Yes. If someone's in on the joke with me, if I'm like, hey, it's me and you right now, because you're the only one here.
Exactly. Yeah. When
we're going to have this moment.
You're like, where do I look? What do I do?
Right.
But it was so great. But I definitely miss, one of the great things about touring is that one-to-one connection.
Yeah.
And it's hard to know how to navigate it right now. Because it's not only how do I feel or how do I want to navigate it, it's like also what does the other person want? Is this other person want me to shake their hand or hug them? Is this other person want me to stay far away from them,
Yeah, that too.
It's definitely a lot. There's a lot of things that go into it weirdly now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff I never had to think about before.
Yeah.
Funny, like I watch TV now, like, and people are like at a coffee shop and they're like leaning over the counter to order, and I'm like, stop doing that! Like, back up! In my head, like my gut reaction is like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like that's so rude, but it's totally normal. Like this pandemic has completely changed so much. And it's crazy to kind of like, and we're still figuring out the like ramifications of it for every aspect of our lives. Even just like meeting like friends of friends who are literally in my apartment, who like somebody will bring somebody over. It's still like a weird, like, do we shake hands? Do we not? Like, you're in my house, right? You're in the place where I live.
Right.
But I still don't really know. Neither of us knows what to do.
I find
it's very weird.
I find fist bump is always a safe bet.
You know what? I need to get better at that. I'm so like, I'm such a dad. I'm like, shake hands. I'm either like a handshake or I'm like, we're best friends now. Like, let me hug you. You know,
I do that too. I'm a very like, I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I always kind of like, now I have to kind of be like, yeah, it's all right.
Actually, yes.
I give him the guns. I'm like, yeah, bang bang. Like,
before it was always a hug.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, maybe I should just the fist bump. Honestly, that is the way to go.
Fist bump's a good one. I work at a bar, and I have that same thing because people are leaning over the bar to tell me something, and I'm like, I hear you. It's fine. Like, yeah, you're already yelling. I don't need you to spit on me. Please stop. You know, it's, and I have that. Every week I have several in my mind. What the fuck are you doing? Moments. And it's weird. It's absolutely weird. Okay.
Really quick.
Yeah. So let's move on from that because that's fucking weird. But
really quick, we got to pay some bills.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that we pay the bills is through friends of ours, a gracious sponsor of ours called Poddex. And what Poddex is it's very much like a Cards Against Humanity, but tamed a little bit. It's more of like a PG-13 at its worst. Yeah, at its worst, it's like PG-13, like Biodome PG-13.
Right. Yeah.
Not where it's like toting the line. But anyway, these guys are awesome. They help aspiring podcasters, people who don't have diarrhea of the mouth like we do.
Right.
And what we like to do is have our guests pick from one of their fine Poddex decks, and then you get to answer a question from it. So you can pick from either the episode deck, the interview deck 2, the Would You Rather deck, and What the Heck deck. So which one would you like to pick from?
I'm going to pick the black one just because, you know, my goth at heart.
Twice in one night. We had 2 interviews in a row. We had someone go, I picked the black one.
Everyone wants the Would You
Everyone
Rather.
else goes, Would you rather?
Sometimes What the Heck, when they're like, let's get edgy.
Yeah. So while Mike's shuffling,
I'm bad at making decisions. I can't do that.
No, that's good.
You were assertive in this one.
You were assertive. You were there. All your 7 questions were very assertive too. I like you. You're better at making decisions than you think you are. While Mike is shuffling these, I will tell our listeners that you can go to poddex.com and get any or all of these decks. They sell them one by one, or they sell them in groups. You can grab them. They have cool t-shirts. They're a really cool company. Like he said, whether you're an aspiring podcaster and you want like some interview questions, or you want some ideas on what to make an episode about, it can help you with that. Or whether you just want to get like a deck and ask them with friends. I could bring them to the bar and do like icebreakers and stuff. I think it's super cool. You can use the promo code BACON and you can get yourself 10% off your entire order. And they're a super cool company. They're a small company. We got an email like from the owner when we ordered our pod decks, and like they're just super awesome.
Yeah,
they're very, very cool.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fan this out like so.
For those of you listening, like so means he made like a fan. I'm going to take a digit, which is a fingy.
A digit.
And I'm going to start from my left, your right. And I'm going to slowly move it. And
you tell us when to stop.
When you tell me to
she
stop.
Said stop.
Oh, I stopped. I got
It's a
it.
stupid noise gate.
I gotta
I
throw
got it.
you off. I gotta throw you off, right?
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So here is your question from the interview deck. Lo,
Okay.
which words or phrases do you most overuse?
Fuck, fucking, any curse word. Honestly, I it's terrible. It's horrible. I swear like a sailor.
You have a filthy mouth.
I do. I kind of hate it, but I can't help it. It is what it is.
Hey.
And
fucking
I also
happens.
overuse like and literally, like every basic bitch out there.
So like
we do that.
we definitely
We do that a lot.
Literally
And we
is one that I haven't heard that often.
I think I do that in texts more than I do it in real life.
Literally?
Literally.
Well, you know, somebody will say something and I'll be like literally, she is such a fucking cunt.
Commercial break.
On your fitness journey, extraordinary results require extraordinary action. Your training and quality of nutrition is definitely key, but adding a well-developed nutritional supplement protocol will push your results to the next level. And that's where Legacy Sports Nutrition comes in. Legacy Sports Nutrition believes that everything you want to achieve in life can be aided by optimizing human performance. All of their formulas have been professionally developed for both men and women and are made to the highest quality standards. Legacy Sports Nutrition is a brand founded and operated by athletes who have been performing at world-class levels for decades. And when I say athletes who perform at world-class levels, I truly mean it. This is NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis's company, so you know these items are absolutely championship quality. Go to LegacySups.com and use the promo code BACONPOD and you'll receive 10% off your order. Once again, that's LegacySups.com. Use the promo code BACONPOD for 10% off your order. Set your goals, push your limits, and leave your legacy.
All right, I've been preparing my whole life for this. Hey, it's Lainey Fenney, and you are consuming Bacon is My Podcast.
So my question that I want to ask you.
This is controversial.
I'm scared. Is it about garden gnomes?
No, it is not.
No, it's about a controversial tweet you've done.
Get on, let's go.
Yeah, I was going to say that wasn't the one I was going with. I was actually
No.
I
know where you.
I was going there
No,
because I wrote it down. But I will say about a tweet you've done because I felt it hardcore. I hate needles. I hate needles. I'm scared of them.
Don't say it. Don't
They freak me out.
you do that.
Yeah, he's being that guy, right? I hate needles. I don't like them. So when I was getting my vaccination, I was like, hey guys, I'm going to look away because I don't like needles. And the first thing they said to me is, but you've got tattoos.
Fucking time. Every time.
Fucking time.
Every doctor, nurse, anybody, every time. It is not the same at all.
Right?
At all. It's a completely different sensation.
So I'd like to get people to stop doing this because
Pain
the
to
fear of needles
normalize
is
a
normal.
fear of needles if you have tattoos.
Yes, I agree.
I'm running for president. That's my platform.
I'm already voting for you.
Yes. Yes.
I will say, I hate getting shots,
I also hate getting
but
shots.
take all the blood you want from me.
I don't like.
Oh!
Ooh, I don't like giving blood. I give it.
Yeah, like I don't care about that as much as getting shots. I think what scarred me worst is I don't know. I think I got a flu shot or something, and in my arm, my muscle just tensed up, right?
Okay.
And I literally felt it knot, and they were like pulling the needle from it, but they had to like tug it out.
That sucks
because it like wrapped around the needle, and I was like, that shouldn't happen. And they're like, no, it shouldn't. That's weird. And
So what, did you bend the needle?
No, I didn't bend the needle.
Okay.
It was just like they had to like
You just
tug
tightened
it
up
out,
on it.
and I was
Yeah.
like, "This is the worst
You did that
sensation
thing
ever."
people do to like kill a mosquito. You like tense up,
Yeah,
and you're like, yeah, blow up.
no, yeah. I got a fun mosquito story, but yeah, no, that's why I don't like shots.
So I saw that tweet from you, and I was like, she's so right. This is such bullshit. I just want you to let you know that I'm on your side.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
am with you in this 100% because I'm sick of being told that. That's like the most annoying thing in the world.
It's not even like a personal. It's not even just a fear. It's a physical reaction that I have when I go and I get a needle stuck in my body, whether it's a pierce, like, because I have piercings, whether it's a piercing, a shot, a blood draw, anything like that where the needle's like going into me, I get lightheaded. If I don't lay down, I'll pass out. Like, I cannot control it, although I have figured something out that I think helps.
What's that?
So I did a lot of Googling about it because this is a problem, and I was like, I'm going to get this COVID shot, right?
Right.
And actually, fun fact, I got the J&J shot initially because I only wanted to get one.
To get one, yeah.
My wife
and I ended up getting a second shot. Long story, but I did end up getting 2 shots. So it was useless. But what I do is I read about the like physiology of why it's basically your caveman brain stimulating your fight or flight response. So all the blood in your body is rushing to your legs so that you can run away from the danger.
Stabbed. Yeah.
So I have learned that if I like flex my legs, like my quads and stuff, if I like tense up my muscles and then like release and like kind of like do that while it's happening, it stops me from getting so lightheaded.
Oh, I'm going to try
Fun
that.
fact. Yeah.
That is
And
a
you
fun
know
fact.
what? It helped me so much that, I noticed the difference. I got both COVID vaccines doing that thing. And it's actually made me way less scared of having to get shots in the future because I think a big part of the fear for me at least was, oh my God, I'm going to go and I'm going to get lightheaded and it's going to be this thing. Like if I pass out, there's like all the anxiety that builds up on it.
Right.
Because you're like, oh, the situation that this creates.
Yeah.
Now that I'm like, oh, I can kind of control this, I'm like, I feel less anxious about it, which is great.
Oh, thank you.
I still hate it.
Try that.
Yeah,
Right.
I still hate it. And it's horrible, but
that's fantastic. See, this is why I'm glad that I brought this up.
You almost didn't.
I almost didn't, but I'm so glad.
I'm glad that you did because I feel very strongly about this.
I do
so
too.
many people give me shit about this.
Yeah,
And
I get it too. I get it
you
too
don't
all the time.
understand. Yeah.
I'm like, it's not the fucking same thing. It's not the same thing at all.
Nope.
I don't mind getting blood drawn. I don't know what it is.
It's like if it were about pain, the tattoos are way worse than any needle stabbing situation.
It's a constant bee sting. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like it's like somebody's taking a knife, like getting your legs tatted, anything outside of your arms, getting that tattooed, is horrible.
What was your worst?
I had my sternum tattooed, which was pretty fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But I recently started a leg piece, like a huge leg piece, and it's a buddy of mine. I'm going to plug him because he's my friend.
Do it.
It's
Do it.
at El Ugo on Instagram, at EL_UGO. He is based in Tijuana and San Diego. But he actually has done a lot of my work. He did a piece on my left arm. He did my whole right arm. And now he started a huge piece on my leg. And he is an incredible artist. His stuff is so dark and it stays and it heals so well.
Nice.
But I think the reason for that is that he's very like heavy-handed when he tattoos. So it hurts extra. Right? And so when he did my leg, like the outline, because it's on my shin, my kneecap, the back of my knee, every horrible part from my hip to my ankle.
Mm-hmm.
That was the worst. I was like pretty much crying at some parts. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But still, I would take that over a flu shot.
Yeah, I would too. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, the flu shot also gives you flu symptoms for 3 to 4 days.
I'm not a bleeder, so I drink when I'm getting tattooed.
Yeah,
I found
that. Me too. That's the fun part about getting tattooed in Mexico, though. By the way, is everyone's drinking.
Well, my artist that I go to, I'll plug him, Gentle J Tattoo at Gentle J Tattoo, Ink Master Season 7. When I go to get tattooed by him, I bring him a bottle of Gentleman Jack, and then we drink together while I'm getting tattooed.
Yeah, we'll have a beer or a michelada or something.
Absolutely.
I trust him, so I trust him.
You have to.
Yeah.
You got to trust your artist, and when you're on that level with them, where you're like, let's have enchiladas and beers, and we'll take a break, we'll have a drink, we'll hang out a little bit, and then we'll come back in. That's the best. I love that. I love that. Like, it's, I don't know. That made getting tattooed a whole. Yeah, that's made it a better experience for me.
I haven't done that with my guy.
In the U.S. especially,
I don't think he drinks.
There's a lot of rules, right?
Yeah.
When you're getting tattooed, and I get it.
Yeah.
But going to Mexico to get tattooed is sick.
They don't serve micheladas here, which is an issue.
Oh, you know what? You're right. That's one of the craziest things I think about when I moved to LA, and the Mexican and Latin in general influence here.
Mm-hmm.
I never experienced that on the East Coast at all. There's not a lot of Spanish. Most people here speak at least some Spanish.
Right.
I didn't know what the fuck a michelada was, or even a tecate. I was like, what's a tecate?
Right.
Yeah. So, and now I'm like, that's my, a go-to beer, a Mexican beer or a michelada. I love that shit.
I didn't know what either of those were until I went to LA.
Dude, that's another thing that's kind of not on the East Coast. I think it's starting to get more popular, but mezcal.
What is it? Mezcal, yeah.
Yeah.
I worked in a very Latin American heavy town and stuff. So they very, very quickly learned me to the ways.
That's awesome.
Of the micheladas.
That's awesome.
And because they're like, oh, you like spicy stuff and you like to drink? Here.
Let's go.
And I was like, yeah.
Best hangover cure.
That's my jam.
By far.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I've never used that as a hangover cure, so.
Gosh, yeah. A michelada it'll bring you back.
Okay.
right from the dead, it'll bring you back.
Nice.
Good to know.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So final thing, and this could open up a whole new thing, and we talked for a lot longer. But I definitely I'm starting to ask everybody that comes in, because I'm just very interested. So what's something that you love to talk about that not enough people ask you about, because, and they should, because you either love to talk about it or you could totally school people on it?
That's really difficult because I love talking about stuff.
Right.
Right. In general, things that I like, I'll talk myself. I'll talk about myself all day.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to my TED Talk. Here we go. That's tough, because I don't want to go down a whole road. A lot of, something that I've never talked really at all publicly about was my time in letters and that whole breakup and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I could also talk about RuPaul's Drag Race all day.
Nice.
All day. Big fan of that. football, sports. I love that. I'm like Shrek said.
Well, yeah,
I'm like an onion. There's many layers.
You spent some money for a Fortnite skin based on your love of sports that I saw.
You guys really did your research, huh? Remind me to go through and check my every social media account and start deleting all the embarrassing shit.
I like to find things that I see something, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, that's fun. So you're a sports fan and also a gamer?
Yes. Fortnite is low key very fun.
Yeah.
Wait, so what kind of skin was this? Because I didn't get to see that.
It was an NFL player skin, you know? So I wanted to be a Steelers player on Fortnite. And I paid like $20 to get the skin. And then right after that, the Steelers started losing every game. So I used that skin for maybe a week. And then I was like, fuck this team. You know, like every season. There's a point in every season. Usually it's by week 3. Last year we were lucky and it was later in the season, but I have a strong feeling that, you know, on Sunday at whatever time the game's going to be over, I'm going to already be feeling that way.
Right.
It's like, I'm like, fuck this team. I hate this team. I'm not a fan anymore. And yet every week I'm there watching. I live and die by the Steelers. I hate it. Why am I like this?
My old bass player is a huge Jets fan.
Oh.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. Any show that we played that was on a game day, he had a jersey on. Like and I'm like, why do you wear that? And he's like, it's a luck thing. And I'm like, well, it doesn't work.
You shut up.
Like it doesn't. You should try it. It clearly doesn't. Maybe you're doing the wrong thing.
Listen, people think I'm nuts because
maybe
I'll be
your Fortnite
like,
skin started the downfall.
Oh yeah, truly. I'll be like watching a game somewhere and I'm like, yo, switch me seats. And they're like, why? And I'm like, wait, just switch me seats. Don't ask me a fucking question. Because if I explain, they're not going to switch me seats.
Right.
It's totally because the juju is wrong. Like the vibe here is wrong. If we switch seats or I take my shirt off or, you know, I touch my nose twice and say a spell, I'm going to control the outcome of this game. You know?
See?
And if we lose,
creepy.
Yeah, if we lose, I did something wrong.
All I care about is that my team in my work pool is winning. That's all that matters.
Are you in a fantasy league?
I am in a fantasy league. I had someone auto draft for the first time in 3 years, and I have had the best team that I've ever had, ever. So far,
I have many feelings about this.
Yeah. Well, Tom Brady scored me 35 points last night. So,
man, I wish I could hate that guy, but
well, yeah. I mean,
when I saw that he was on my team, I was like, ooh. And then
you were like, yeah.
Well, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I have 2 fantasy teams, and the reason why I do fantasy is so that I have something else to look forward to after the Steelers have tanked for the season.
I was raised a Mets fan, so I have half a baseball season.
Yeah, Pirates. Yeah.
So like All-Star break happens, and my season's over. I'm good.
As I was growing, I was born in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, you got that right. And so,
listen,
it was like, you're a Browns fan. And I was like, I'm just going to stop watching.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stop watching because
there's something in me
I can't do it.
that I can never, even with the Pirates. Like, I went a couple of weeks ago, I went to see the Pirates play the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. And, you know, I could not help it. I was sitting there surrounded by, like, everybody's a Dodgers fan. and the pirates would do something, and I'd be like, yes! And I'm like, shut up. I just think there's something programmed in me genetically that Pittsburgh sports till I die, no matter what.
That's great.
I hate it. I wish I could not care, but I care so much.
You know what's unfortunate too? You have the major league movies,
right?
Like that's a part of your heritage.
Mm-hmm.
You're not an Indians fan?
They're changing their name, aren't they? The Guardians now.
The Guardians, yeah.
Oh,
and that. Well, I got into like, you know, because the Browns were never going to do anything for me, so I was like maybe college. Go get into college because I was in Indiana, so I was like, cool.
Indiana.
I got Purdue, I got IU, I got Notre Dame. I got all. I'm good.
Abby.
I'm good, and so that works. That works better for me. Lo, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. This has been so much
Anytime.
fun. So cool. The invitation and the door is always open for you. Anytime you ever want to promote anything, anytime you want to just pop on, anytime you want to do anything, shoot us a text, jump on the show. We'll jump on. It'll be fun. Definitely come on. We extend that to anybody and everybody that's a guest. If you have, whenever you have new music coming out,
we extend that to the good guests.
That's true.
He definitely just outed you guys with that one.
No, I just tried to say a nice thing, and he just said the real thing.
That's very cunty.
I'm quite cunty.
No, but there's cunty.
I am quite cunty. 100%.
Well, sometimes.
Quite a bit.
I agree.
But thank you so much, everybody. You've had a good time listening. You know you've had a good time listening. So definitely check out Leauxx. Jump on the Spotifys. Jump on the Apple Musics. Jump on everything.
Make sure you
follow. Share.
Leauxx. 2 X's.
Yes, 2 X's, Leauxx. We will put all links in the description below. If you are on Strangerhood TV, you've watched this and you see her name on there, and you will see it in the descriptions. If you are on Apple or Spotify or any of the other streaming areas, Leauxx. And check it out.
It's down there.
It is down there. It's still down there. Check it out.
Into the description.
And please let them know, once again, where they can find you on the socials, where they can find your website, where else they can see you, hear you.
I am Leauxx on everything. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the socials, YouTube. I am Leauxx. But usually if you search Leauxx, Leauxx, I'll pop up. Because nobody's spelling it as douchey as I am, right?
Well, at least you're admitting it.
I'm keeping everybody guessing. That's part of the fun.
That's right. Keep them on their toes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because that's how we dance here at Bacon Is My Podcast.
Indeed.
Everybody remember, ask yourself every single day.
One thing. What's your bacon? Bringing it full circle.
Yeah.
That's what we do here.
Yeah. We said dirty words. We talked about everything.
If there was an award for excessive use of the word cunt, this show would win that.
I think so. I'm not mad at it.
No,
I mean I wasn't anyway. I wouldn't be.
No. There's no reason to be.
I think we made the point.
Yeah. Well, she said, let's take it back.
Yeah.
Let's take it back.
100%.
It was a great time. So make sure you check out Leauxx.
Yeah, definitely.
Regardless of how her name is spelled.
Leauxx.
Leauxx.
Yeah.
Check out her singles. She's got another one coming out soon.
Video coming out soon.
She was a lot of fun. I met her like we talked about. I met her when she was with her last band, and she was super cool then too. Super cool now. We'll definitely have her on again, I'm sure.
100%. Yeah.
So Jim.
Yeah. Yes, Mike.
She told us where we could find her. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
Well, people, you can find me at Jimmy G's Shoes on the Twitter and Instagram. You can also find my band, Craving Strange, at cravingstrange.net, which gives you the links to our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But if you want to speed that process up, Instagram and Twitter are at Craving Strange, at Craving Strange Music on Facebook. And you can also find me at Bacon Is My Passion, which you can find the music on the Spotify.
How do you spell that?
Bacon, everybody knows how to spell bacon, is I-S. My, everybody knows how to spell my. Passion, P-A-S-S-I-O-N.
It's available everywhere you stream your music, including the Apple Musics, the Spotifys, the Amazon Musics, the Deezers, the Beats Music, the TikToks.
Bring up Deezer. It's great.
It's there.
It is there. It is.
They're
It's
like,
there.
you can put
I
this
think
on
it's great.
Deezer, or you cannot put this on Deezer. And I'm like,
It's going on Deezer.
fuck it.
It's going on Deezer.
It goes
man.
on Deezer.
Hey, if you heard us on Deezer, please
Let us
get in
know.
touch with us.
Please let us know.
Slide into our DMs and slide into your DMs to know that I heard you on Deezer.
Yes. As far as me,
Yeah.
thanks for asking.
I was about to, but you jumped the gun.
Well, dead air. Dead air is bad.
No, it creates anticipation.
Many people disagree.
Well, it's okay if people are wrong.
You can find me at my own self, Mike, on all the socials, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Twitters. You can also find my band at Something Heavy Music on, again, all the same social medias. But most of the stuff that you see there, you see on Bacon Is My Pod, or at Bacon Is My Pod on all the social medias. And don't forget, go to baconismypodcast.com right now.
Yeah.
And you can even get this Don't Ask Me. Grammar is my passion.
Grammar
shirt.
is my passion.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun, sweet swag over there, and it helps us out immensely.
Absolutely. And like you said, Bacon Is My Pod. We are on the Twitters and the Instagrams as well. Stay in the conversation with hashtag What's Your Bacon?
Yes.
And hashtag Bacon Is My Pod, or hashtag Bacon Is My Podcast. We'll check them all. And let us know what kind of content you want to see on here. If you are on our BIMP squad on the Patreon, thank you once again. You guys are badass and the most awesome. And other than that, you just got to ask yourself
one question
every day.
What is your bacon?
What's your bacon?
You love your weekly dose of bacon as my podcast, but you need even more bacon. Well, just go over to baconismypodcast.com. You can engage even more with us over there. It's a pathway to our music, extra content, our social media pages. Most importantly, grab yourself some pretty sweet swag and put it all over your body parts. Again, that's baconismypodcast.com. Listen to some tunes, pick up some merch, and tell us, what's your bacon?